We are Flake Rose and Spears, and we are Supremely Black. How y'all doing this week, fellas?
And I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Doing all right. Can't complain. Can't complain. Everybody's still healthy. Uh, you know, everybody's happy. School's still in. Nobody's coming home from school as of yet. I'm definitely happy about that. They're just making sure everybody stay masked up, and, washing hands, and keep their hand sanitizer on them, so I can keep the kids safe. A few schools in the area have been closed a few days because of high COVID cases and whatnot. For those who don't know, Pfizer has been FDA approved, so if that's what you was waiting on, you can go out and get your vaccine if you want to. You ain't got to get it, or you can get it. I'm just giving the news out there, but man, just prayers for all those who's fighting it. So hopefully everybody stay healthy. Um, but outside of that, man, everybody's doing good, man.
Yeah, I'm I'm blessed, man. I can't complain at all. Everything like you said, everybody's here. Everybody's pushing forward. I can't find any complaints. I did get some good news today. The state did receive my paperwork in regards to get my DBA official, so that's
Yes,
good. Hopefully
sir.
this, yeah. So hopefully that doesn't take long. They said Harrison County has been taking like 7 to 9 business days and not the 20. So hopefully that'll come through and get everything rocking and rolling on everything I got processed. So I'm blessed. I keep it short and sweet. So, but I will say to my sister, her birthday is Thursday. So by the time this drops on Friday, happy birthday. Welcome to 29, little sis, but we're gonna have a good time out in LA. That's what she want to do. So we're gonna make that happen. So just creating memories, man, and just staying blessed and staying prayed up. What about you, Spirit?
Happy birthday, sis. Salute to you and your DBA. And then Flake, we just talked about not talking about that, and you're
Yeah,
gonna talk about
yeah.
that.
I mean, we can start all over, man. I don't know. It was just on top of my head. I don't know. I think I seen it run across the screen on
Yeah,
TV.
yeah, nah, man.
I
That's
don't
No,
know.
we
we
gonna
gotta
run
rock
with
with it now. You
we
just
gonna run with it.
you spoke about that. It just had to get you. Like it just got
I
you
didn't
crying.
think. I really didn't think nothing about it, man. But
Yeah,
shoot, when
nobody
you dealing
does.
with kids that go to school every day, man, and they calling your phone every day and talking about it, man, and I guess it's just the top of my mind.
Nah, I feel you. I feel you. I ain't mad at you. I mean, it is what it is. We didn't go too far into it, so hopefully, we still good. But my week been good. Been getting a lot of stuff accomplished. Uh, as far as the nonprofit goes and play goes, so that's always a beautiful thing and a blessing. So yeah, that's really what I've been just maximizing on and working on for myself and everything. So that's been good. My oldest son just started boxing and stuff. So he's loving that and he's liking that. And the coach saying if he stick with it, he could be nice. So might have the next Muhammad Ali to me is the greatest of all time, but might have the next Muhammad, Floyd, or whatever the case may be, and be out here making some money just for 28, 30 minutes. So I mean, I can't be mad at that. So I hope he continues with it and everything. But that's just been my week. So Rose, you want to go ahead and jump into the topic, or I
Yeah.
got something else to touch
We
on?
can. Salute to the young king for getting in the ring. My question would be though, where he get the hands from?
You know we good from the shoulders, so we good from the shoulders. So, but hopefully he'll be as good as his daddy. But that's yet to be seen.
Hey, they said them Agtown cats scratch hard as hell. So we go see if he got it in him or not, man. But yeah, that's what's up though. I definitely want to see that because I want to get into
I
boxing
loves
myself.
the fight.
Yeah, but my my ego too high to get in there and get dropped by somebody. So I ain't even, I just had to, I'm about to hit a body bag or something. But yeah, man, I'll jump right into the topic. I know a lot of people have asked to talk about like, hey, I know you guys have Supreme Black. We love the name, but what is the actual plan that you all are actually going out and executing on a daily basis on what the Supremely Black means. So within this particular subject or this topic, we're just I ain't gonna say keep it short and sweet, but we're gonna give you all of some of the things that we're actually doing in hopes of collaboration. So when you're watching this, just think about it, like drop either some comments, share it with people that could actually be of like minds that would love to partner to do some of the things that we're actually doing. Flakes in Nashville, Spirits is in Dallas. Me and Spirits both have a nonprofit that we can calibrate with different people with. So we would love to hear your feedback and love to see exactly of how we all could push and be Supremely Black, but that's what we'll actually talk about within this discussion. So just
and Rose is in Houston. And Rose
yeah, and I'm in Houston, excuse me. Yeah, and I'm in Houston. So those are three major cities. It's a lot of Black influence in all of them, which is a blessing within itself. But definitely let's build on this particular topic. And like I said, really want to push for the engagement, but more importantly, the calibration. So the first thing that I would ask for you all is like, what's your meaning of being Supremely Black? How do you go about doing it, that type of thing? Or being it, excuse me.
Spirits, you can go ahead first.
Well, as for me, I will have to start off from the beginning. And I know we talked about this in the previous episode, but in the beginning, when we all three came together and talked about doing a podcast and we was throwing out names and everything, and we finally decided and voted on Supremely Black, it came from a standpoint of trying to educate the people and not talk about the topics that social media talks about, the clickbait topics that are really a whole bunch of nonsense and a whole bunch of ignorance going on. So whether it be the fights, whether it be shaking asses, whether it be, pranks and jokes, we actually wanted to educate, we wanted to inform, we wanted to discuss real life issues that we as Black people, from a cultural standpoint and just from a economic and demographic standpoint, that we go through on a daily basis, whether it be the highs or the lows, whether it be the good or the bad. We just wanted to have real conversation and to articulate how we see life and how we view life from Flake, Rose, and Spears' eyes, and then let y'all have y'all take on it, whether y'all agree with this, whether y'all disagree with this, but y'all inform us and make us either step our game up from the example of saying nigga, because we used to say nigga heavy on our episodes, but then somebody came to Rose and said, I love what y'all doing, but I think y'all will have more of an impact without using the word nigga. And so we had a conversation about it, a whole episode, and we discussed it. And then really, we haven't used that word much since. So it's things like that that Supremely Black is one, always being open-minded and intentional, but always trying to learn and then also educate each other and to be there for each other, to support each other, but then also to stand in your beautiful Blackness, to stand firm in who you are. So in essence, to get rid of the code switching, to get rid of trying to fit into somebody else's structure or idea of what you should be or who you should be to appease them. And most of the times that's for other cultures, for other people that we do that for, because we don't mind being us in front of us. We don't mind doing the things that we do in front of each other. Now, what we don't stand for as being Supremely Black, in my eyes, and I'm pretty sure my brothers agree with me, but in my eyes, we don't stand for the retarded ignorance. Now, we love to have fun, we love to joke and shoot the shit and everything, but we also not trying to demean, to disrespect, to basically over sensationalize our Blackness or disrespect it and take it for granted, because we know what our ancestors went through, we know what our elders went through, and then we also know what we're trying to do for the younger generation and for ourselves as a whole. So that would be my answer for now, and then I'll let y'all add on, and then we could go however the conversation evolves.
Being Supremely Black, first start off with, it's gonna sound a little cheesy for those who know this is my brand, but staying fly, and that's first loving yourself. Kind of piggyback on Spears with that, just being who you are at all times. If you ever go If you ever attended a HBCU, or if you spend a lot of time on a HBCU campus, you see all different types of Black people that come from all different types of cultures. And that is being supremely Black in itself, where some people say, oh man, they talk white, oh, they bougie, whatever. No, that person's supremely Black because Black people come all shades, colors, walks of life, backgrounds. We come from, some people might think certain people weird as being Black people. Black people normally, that's a stereotype. We all do a whole bunch of different things, and we can all come together as one and accomplish a lot of great things. Uh, Wearing your hair to where you want it. I say some people might not agree, but just give an example. I think Jay-Z has grown into being supremely Black as he got rid of some of those stereotypes, and now he's a billionaire running his business and he's doing what he want to do and take care of Black people. Some people might disagree with that, but he gives a lot to the Black community on the back end and just don't put it out there for everybody to see, because sometimes you just don't want your name tied to different things because some people hate because of that. Being supremely Black is helping your brothers and sisters getting into your community, being seen, being visual, and whatever gift that you have. Everybody ain't got the gift to stand on a podium and speak like Malcolm, speak like Martin, and be a leader or or drive a wave. Sometimes your thing is being that community leader where if you know your neighbor two doors down is hungry, making them making them a meal and taking it down there, or you being the usher at your church, or you being the cook at a march, or you the one carrying waters at a march, or you the making a program. You can't attend whatever's going on, but you making a program to push the Black people forward. So uh, everybody got their talents, and if your talents is supporting the Black community, you are being supremely Black. If your talent is uplifting the community by any way you possibly can, you are being supremely Black. If you are supporting Black businesses, you are being supremely Black. Everybody has this idea that to be a leader, you just got to be on the forefront of everything that's going on. Well, that's not always the case. I just gave you some examples of people that have certain talents, and that is very important. Uh, like for example, if you got a movie, the actors are very important. But guess what? If you ain't got a sound man with that boom mic, the sound ain't gonna make the movie's not gonna be that great because the sound ain't good. If you ain't got the cameraman there, the movie's not gonna look that good. If you don't have a makeup person, a food runner, a person that's printing off the scripts, so everybody plays a valid role. So whatever your talent is in that valid role to push the community forward as a collective people, as we start to see more and more millionaires, as we starting to see more Black youth being interested in going to college, we start to see more Black people being interested in creating their own business and making a way for themselves to push their families forward. And like I've said repeatedly on previous episodes, that one person can change a family, one family can change a neighborhood can change a city can change a state can change a country with a progression. And to me, if you all about that peace, love, happiness, and moving the culture forward, you are being supremely Black.
Yeah, that's dope. And I think so for me, being supremely Black is, really, to Flake's point and Spirit's point, is being your authentic self, really having that self-love and having that self-support. One of the key things that I kind of pride myself on is that being supremely Black is eliminating just the discussion part of it and really put some actionable steps behind what you're doing. A lot of times I've talked to people and kind of just polled of like, what do they think the biggest area of opportunity is within our community is lack of action and really plan put together. So to me, I like to operate without really, I like to do what people like to talk about and really affect that, because I was told, as a young age, is that if you don't like what the system is or how it's actually presented itself, be the change that you actually want to see. And so to me, is being a supremely Black person is someone that challenges the norm, but more importantly, goes out to actually do it and not just talking about it. And the reason why mine is just kind of straight to the point with it is because I think Spears made a hell of a point and Flake made a hell of a point, and that's what really just makes us supremely Black. But for me, it's really doing what people love to talk about or what they talk about and not really putting any actual steps behind. To me, that's what makes you supremely Black. If you go outside of the norm and don't do what's necessarily cliche, but really getting out and putting your boots on the ground to change the things around you that you know for a fact have either been of a detriment to your community, and just quit talking about it. Like, do it, partner with people. I think the conversation is definitely necessary, but once you get those like minds, push. After that, outside of that, you're just making excuses for why the same reason you're going to be that same person, 20 years from now, still talking about what could have been done. But if you didn't do anything about it, nobody really cares. And that's just how I look at it. So that's being supremely Black, being action-based and actually moving with the plan and not just talking and, shooting as the dark, as they must say. So I think that was dope. But my question for you all is, if you had one particular word that you would say, what is supremely Black to you? Like, what would be your word or your takeaway to say, okay, Spears' plan or Flake's plan is this, and this is what I'm going with, that people will connect to?
I know you said one, but I got two because they're interchangeable. Liberation and revolution. So to liberate our people and create a revolution that is going to put us where we need to be in society.
Shoot, I hope I ain't picking back off Spears. I had something to come in real quick. But necessary, strength. Those are two things that come to mind off top. When you just said that, I just go out the first thing that popped in my head. It's necessary and strength.
I'm sitting here on mute, my bad. But for me, it's growth. And I think that speaks for itself, is that having action, like, I know I talked about the action base, but having progress, like if there's something that you know for a fact you want to change, it's not going to change overnight. We know for a fact that everything takes a process. And even like, just to kind of speak on where we started with it, we may get on here and we may talk, but in the meantime, we may go back and forth and argue all day, but it's just love, because at the end of the day, that comes with substantial growth. In order for you to actually get somewhere, you're going to agree to disagree sometimes, and you just have to push forward what it is, and that's growth. And for me, why I pick growth is because we run from it. A lot of the times you're going to go through a change, but how do you deal with that change? And once you master what that change is, it's going to be growth within it. So that's what I go with. Another question for you all. So if you think of a plan or something that, not a plan, what are some things that we're actively doing? Spears, you're in Dallas. Flake, you're in Nashville. I'm in Houston. But what is something that you're already doing that you would label as supremely Black that you think is working well within your community, or you think still is an opportunity that other people could either pick up, whether I do it in Houston, Spears does it in Dallas, or just the people that actually listen, they could do within our community? What do you think, or what do you do, not think, what are you doing that is helpful that you would like either calibration with people from other places, or that you know for a fact is helping your community?
I mean, we said it numerous of times, but I start with Plague, so the nonprofit. That's what I'm gonna start with. But to not be repetitive to a sense, even though this still includes Plague, I'm about to do a town hall meeting. So I'm putting together a town hall meeting so we can have conversations like this outside of just us three. So with a community of people talking about things that matter to us and that affect us. And then again, beyond that, to share and be a little bit intimate I'm about to infiltrate the system or try to infiltrate the system and try to get into politics in the near future and everything. So that's what I'm doing to help my community, to be a voice for the voiceless, to create change, growth, to power, to liberate, and to accelerate our growth process and everything. So that's what I'm doing. Again, I know me and Rose, as of probably the last couple of months, we've been preaching plague, 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 but like that is our gift to our culture and our society and our environment. And again, it is something that we are both, along with our other founding members, passionate about and heartfelt about. So we're doing major things with our nonprofit. We just teamed up with a school with one of our programs. We're about to do a financial thing with one of our programs. We're doing a clothes drive and food, and then we're also doing a mentorship program. We have a lot of different things that we're doing with Plague and that we're trying to do to help ourselves, and ourselves being our culture, our people, but then also to change the world and to allow people to see that we're just not going to sit idle no more, and we're just not going to stand by and sit on our ass and not do shit. We are going to be actionable and intentional about our liberation and our revolution to allow us to give our children and our children's children hopefully a better life and an opportunity than what we had and what our parents had and what our grandparents had. So that's my answer.
Dope, dope. What about you, Flake?
Basically, I do mine from the standpoint. Well, one is the standpoint of laughter when I get on stage because I am my unapologetic self up there. A lot of people ask me where I get my jokes from. My jokes is my life. Um, I put on there and I bring I rip down the stereotype of black fathers not being involved in their children's lives, and I bring that to the stage. I bring that to the stage. I get rid of that stigma of black men uh, not being married or not being married to the woman they got kids by. I tear down that stereotype as well. That people try to put a stain on us that black men just don't be around at all. Like we out doing our own thing and don't care nothing about kids, don't care nothing about being married, don't care. So I definitely don't put on the Bill Cosby stereotype without the allegations. But I definitely put out there that I'm a family man and I bring you into my black world, no matter what your background, color, what it is. When I'm on that stage, you are in my world during that time, and I do that. And I'm spring black in that way because I have all different types of backgrounds that come to me after the show. Be like, man, I like the way you are so relatable, and man, I feel what you're saying, and it just be all different cause of men. They come and say, man, I relate to everything you said, and when people get to think about discussing, man, we pretty much almost the same when you get into that household and you get into the minds and whatnot. Um, so I do that with my comedy. I'm also around the youth some, and in that process of being with the youth, I get the opportunity to talk to them. It may only be for a short period of time, but I do, have discussions with them. And even after, on their way parting, I tell them off top, stick with what you're doing, but mainly number one, make sure them grades are straight because whatever your future is that you're trying to do, if you think you're gonna get your college scholarship on what you want, you got the number one thing they're gonna ask when they call and ask about you is what them grades looking like. Uh, so I do that. I've been doing a little bit of mentoring when I get the chance to, just to hop in, hear some kids discussions, hear what they talking about, hear what they got going on, and then give them a feedback. I didn't grow up in Nashville, but I can give them some type of feedback and show them something a little bit different from what they might not have known, what they seen, or what they might not see on a daily basis, thinking that a black man can do once he put his mind to it, and get that achievement, get that thought in their mind, they are able to succeed at certain things. Like my examples always been, if anybody heard me talk, was growing up in a small town. My first real trip, not first real trip, but the first time I was old enough to realize there's a black man, some of the stuff we do is I made a trip to Atlanta, and the dude, I didn't even know who he was. He wasn't no ball player, wasn't no sports player. He wasn't no rapper, wasn't no singer, wasn't none of that. And this man pull up in the Maybach and making all type of money as a business owner. I'm like, man, I ain't know as a business owner you can make this type of money. You know, run across black people that's doing the stock market. And they get big houses and money, and they successful on doing the stock market each day. Sometimes you need a glimpse of other things that's going on as a youth in Black America to realize that, hey, it's other stuff out here instead of having a wicked jump shop and being able to run the ball real fast. You got a lot of different options instead of making beats and rapping. It's a lot of different options to be successful that can change, the diagram of your whole entire family. So
I do want to save you so you don't get have a busted lip next week or a black eye. He also break the stereotype of being a faithful husband. So I just want to make sure he don't come next week with a busted lip or a black eye. So he also break that stereotype too.
Hey man, I thought that was a given. So I didn't even say it. But to clear it up.
Yeah. That's a good save on that one. But now, just to Spirit's point, like my first steps were really like we got the nonprofit. We were good with that. Focusing on the financial part of it. I've taken the stock market class. I'm still trying to find the actual people that I could partner with to get licensed as a financial advisor or a consultant, because I know it comes a lot with the financial advisor part of it, but I'm still working through that. So I've actually talked to my bank. They offer some free classes and things like that I'm gonna look into, but looking to get the license and certificates behind that. But already pretty good with the budgeting part of it. Like I said, I got the certificate for the stocks and I stayed pretty fresh with that. But I think that's one of the key pieces for me is the finances part of it. That's one part of just being supremely Black. I think just from it, I think the conversation itself, a lot of people aren't just comfortable with finances. And again, that's why I'm putting together with Plague is in the curse, because financial thing has been a curse for us. We run from money conversations and we're not comfortable with it because honestly, we're just not that accessible or don't feel that we're as accessible to it. To Flake's point, growing up in a small town, you thought that you had to pretty much work at some hard job just to make money, but you can really have your money, make it for yourself. And then making the jump on Juneteenth to leave corporate America to really fully focus on everything that I'm doing financially to create my own dollar. So I'm not necessarily, as some may say, depending on the system. And I would say it myself, is not depending on anyone to create my dollar, meaning pulling my resources to do my own thing. So I think that's dope. I love what everybody's doing. But I'll just kind of roll it into it. One of the key things that I feel that would help us collectively and understanding of pushing forward of what's supremely Black and is really partnering with people, understanding that you're not going to always know everything within your field or whatever your gift is, being able to delegate and to, like Flake's point, even Spirits has said, is like, you have to put yourself in those circles, in those conversations with people. And sometimes you just have to be comfortable being uncomfortable with some of those things and understanding everybody has their mindset. But for me, to really push it forward, if I had an actionable step, is calibration, is to partner with people, get things going, find out what's going on in other people's cities, getting some real people that are really touching a lot of money per se in the right way, and not using their people, but providing resources that everybody could get a piece of the pie, as they might say. So the question for me is, if you had one actionable step, what would that be to kind of close the loop, one on the conversation, but on being supremely Black?
For me, it would be education, and not only in the traditional sense, but also in the sense of educating yourself about community, educating yourself about the streets, educating yourself about drug awareness, alcohol, whatever, just educating yourself. So then therefore, when you're in any given environment or situation, you know how to handle yourself productively and responsibly, regardless, even if you do indulge in some vices or whatever the case may be, you're still responsible and educated enough to know your risk and your rewards. So therefore, you're not being naive or taken advantage of because you don't know and you're not educated and you are ignorant to a sense because you decided not to educate yourself on the situation or the environment that you're putting yourself in. And again, so it's education on one, the traditional sense, but also the non-traditional sense. For me, is just education in all forms.
Well, Spears took that from me. So, with that being said, the next thing we need to do is have patience and being a team player as well. So we got the kids to have patience to go along with their education and calibration because you gotta have patience to learn something. You gotta have patience to calibrate and be a team player to maybe work as a teammate to listen to what somebody else has to say and to know that it might not be your time for your idea or for you not to be in the forefront at that particular moment. Just wait on your time. And like I said earlier, to plug yourself in with your talent wherever that may be, wherever it see fit for you to be used at, you're gonna have to sit back and take on that role. So be patient, be a team player, know your role as a team and as a calibration, as education. We put all that together, we can gel together and we can continue to build and continue to move forward. Some people just got to realize that you ain't got to be the leader, you ain't got to be the chief all the time. You can be a chief over that small part of the role of your special talent, that you have going on. So everybody don't have to be in the spotlight. Some people can fade to black and get things accomplished as well. As you look at the worker bees, when you look at animals and you got worker bees, there's a lot of worker bees out there to make a honeycomb, and you get this whole thing full of honey at the end of the day that they put together. So that's how we got to move. We got to move militant like that. We got to move militant like insects, like ants or something like that. We got to move militant as an army, a navy, or air force, and everybody, do their role, but we still on the same page and we still after one goal. As everybody keep that in mind, man, we a mighty strong community, man.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think that we left anything unsaid on that. I think that was very dope. I think it's enlightening. I know a lot of people have asked or we've kind of talked about it. I think it was, time to kind of revisit that and just kind of put down of actually the things that we're doing. I think it sheds light on a lot of the things that we are actually doing right now. So I think it'd be key, like we mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, is, comment however you're following us, whatever social media platform, whether that's Facebook, that's Instagram, you tap into YouTube, what have you. Drop some of the things that you're actually doing below. Reach out to us, let us know how we could truthfully help, because if you heard 3 different perspectives on things that we're actually doing and willing to, educate people from Spirit's perspective, Flake made a hell of a point of just the role side of it, of just understanding that everybody has their own individual niche and can push with that, and just understanding that if everybody's working in unison, it could be taken care of. And then from my point of just the calibration, and from the calibration perspective, I think that takes away from the competitive side, because a lot of times I'm worried about being the big dog here and big dog there. And I think that causes a feud in regards to what the ending goal is. If we eliminate the competition, and then if we calibrate, a lot of the times the things that we're complaining about or saying it's not going in our favor, if we really looked at what we were doing within our village, we can understand what that weakness is, patch that weakness, and just keep pushing forward with it. It's never going to be perfect, but with education, calibration, and understanding your role, to us, that's what really means for Supremely Black. So, continue to tap in, leave some comments below, let us know how we can help. Is there anything else that we can really discuss in regards to this topic? Definitely tap in. But yeah, just share what you're doing within your community to make it Supremely Black, or whatever you're doing to help. Let us know of how we could partner with you all and calibrate. We'll be more than happy to do that. I don't have any questions. I know that was just something that people have reached out to speak on. I'm glad that we were able to really give our thoughts and actions that we're actually doing. Did you fellas have anything else that you wanted to touch bases on before we wrapped it up?
Just continue to share information. Whatever it is you got going, Share information. A lot of times folks get lost because somebody else know what's going on and they don't share information. If you a nurse at a facility and there's some health stuff you can take home to your community and teach your community about, do that. You know, if you're an educator and you got an extra 30 minutes and you know somebody in the community struggling with something, you know, take that time out to help a parent. They can help them to teach their kid to improve their grades and their education. You know, if you know about taxes, you know what I'm saying, and you know Miss Martha can't afford to go to H&R Block and pay $75, you know, to get her taxes done. Help Miss Martha out with her taxes, man. Simple stuff like that is being supremely black, man. If you can't get off work and there's some major march going on, or you know, you not some of these guys that got these thoughtful things on Instagram and Facebook and all that, man, just the normal stuff you do. And you can share that information with somebody. Help somebody who get a job who might have just get out of jail, who can't find one if you can. You know, anything like that is something that's about being supreme black.
And Flake said something there. It's not always about the dollar. So everything does not have to be assigned to a dollar amount or receiving something in return. Being supremely black is doing it because your fellow friend, brother, sister, king, and queen needs help. And they need somebody to help them along the way, because if we're honest with ourselves, you didn't get where you are by yourself. Somebody did something to help you get to where you at. So lend that helping hand and realize that everything doesn't have to be financially driven. Yes, money is cool, and yes, money does things for you, but a lot of times you reap what you sow. And so you'll get the good deeds and the good works that you do return back to you. And sometimes that could be in a financial standpoint, in a financial way. So my thing, from what Flake said, because I was piggybacking off of Flake, but my thing would be get off your ass and do something. Actually do something. Words are good, but words only get you so far. Action. Do action. Take action. Talking about shit is okay and fine and dandy, but that only gets you so far. So get up off your ass. That would be my words.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of I can't follow that one up, but that's true. I think the communication part of it is key as you're building the plan, but don't nothing come to a sleep but a dream. So you know, that's the best way I'll wrap it up. But great conversation, fellas. I don't have anything. I know you brothers got the Supreme Black Person of the Week and the Black Business Minute. So I'll let y'all go ahead and take that on.
For our Black Business Minute this week, we have Aspira Pura. It is water based out of Dallas, Texas, and it's Black owned. Premium ionized alkaline water, 9.5 pH plus, electrolytes, UV, and ozone treatment, refreshing taste, keeping it simple. They have free shipping on their website and Amazon, www.amazon.com/Aspira Pura. It is spelled ASPIRAPURA. And again, they're out of Dallas, Texas. You could catch them. You can find them on Instagram at Aspira Pura. So ASPIRAPURA. If you go back to a couple of the episodes, our last one, and I think the last 2 or 3, I was drinking their water, and it's good tasting water. It's good. So again, you could get a discount if you go online from the website. They ship everywhere, but they're based out of Dallas, and then they can link up with you if you are local in the DFW area and bring you shipments. But again, they ship everywhere off of Amazon. And so Aspire Pure is our Black Business Minute for this week. Salute.
Absolutely.
Our Supreme Black persons of this week is gonna be 2. It's gonna go to Timberland and Swiss Beats. I don't like to do too many superstars that much, but those guys have taken their Versus brand and made it into something for our entire community to jam and rock out to give some nostalgia to all of you grew up in the you know the 80s and 90s and listened to certain music even before then, with the people they have had on their Versus platform. They've also taken rappers, R&B singers, and putting their music back at the top of the limelight, even if it's just for a month or whatever. But some of those guys ain't been on Billboard charts in a while, and then when they hit verses, next thing you know, they numbers are skyrocketing back up, and they putting a lot of money in a lot of people's pockets along with themselves. Taking their brand and just taking it just from Instagram, and also hooked up with another brand, and got a great deal out of that as well, and turned verses into also maybe a music battle, also into some boxing type situations as well. So man, big shout out to those guys. They've been super producers for a long time, but who would have known they would take something like verses and then blow that up at the right time to to push the culture forward as far as when it comes to black music, and they just bringing everybody to the forefront. Oh, Patti LaBelle, from Patti LaBelle to Young Jeezy to 112 to Earth, Wind and Fire to the Isley Brothers, and then you got the Locks and you got Dipset. So it's a wide range. So everybody's been talking about verse. Depending on who coming up, man. You get your mama, your grandmama looking at verse. Baby, how I get on this thing called the little verses thing they got going on. So man, yeah, they're gonna be our supreme black people of the week, man, for what they have done and pushing the music culture forward with verses.
And I gotta add, just to go back to everything's not about the dollar. They're also giving everybody who they sign up on versus shares into the Triller company that they are partially ownership of, and giving people ownership, so then therefore they could continue to make money. And so that is being supremely black. When you look out for your fellow artists, your fellow contemporaries, and you give them a piece of the pie and allow them to have ownership in something versus saying, this is all mine, I'm gonna take credit for everything. No, they want everybody to eat, and that's part of being supremely black. So I gotta say that, because they are true examples of being supremely black by doing that.
Yeah, because they definitely didn't have to do that at all, but they worked that into the deal.
Salute, salute.
So with that being said, all our queens out there, put your crown on, tilt that thing to the side. Let them know y'all a queen. For all our kings out there, put your crown on, tilt that thing to the side. Let them know you are a king, and we are supremely black. We are not 3/5 of anything, but this is the Supreme Black Podcast, and we out.
Love.